Hello, everyone. It is Mark Berman from TV Media Insights. I am with Bill Brioux, and you are my friend and colleague from Canada.
Absolutely.
And
happy to be here, Mark.
I'm happy to have you back, and we are brought to you by the sponsorship group for public television, PBS Delivers, the smart, engaged audience that you need for your brand, SGP TV. The best sponsorship on PBS is available at www.sgptv.org. Now, I have to say...
Today's show is brought to you by the letters PBS.
PBS, who are going to be here tomorrow.
Right, they're always lovely hosts.
Yes, but here's the thing. I'm going to put this up for Thursday, so technically... I'll be back in New York.
We've already enjoyed PBS.
We've already enjoyed PBS, and I'm sure it was wonderful.
Wasn't that a great session today on Ken Burns and Elmo?
I have to tell you, though, quite honestly, PBS is always my favorite part of the tour because they have such interesting programming.
To me, it's like going to a graduate school, you know, like after all the trash of cable and all the noise, you go there, and I always feel smarter having sat in on some PBS.
Right. Now, we look a little purplish today, so you'll have to excuse us. We just kind of finagled the sun out here. It's a little tricky out in Pasadena.
Yeah.
So if we're a little purple, we're not filming a movie that's in purple or anything.
No.
These are our tans from California. But... So technically, the tour, again, this goes up Thursday, but the tour is winding down. Any thoughts overall on the tour? Good, bad, indifferent?
Yeah,
wonderful?
you know, we just, today is, a few days ago, was FX.
Yes.
And these guys have tons of great shows.
Yes.
They've announced renewals on a few of them. American Horror Story, and my favorite show, Louie, is coming back.
That's your favorite show?
It is, yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And there was some show shot up where I'm from in Toronto, Man Seeking Woman, which I think is pretty funny, with Jay Baruchel. So, it's always great to see good television, and John Landgraf, I think you'll agree, one of the most impressive executives in terms of networks.
Absolutely.
He ran a pie chart showing how critics basically love HBO and FX, and then all the rest are kind of well down the pack, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well, my number one pick of the year when I did my top 10 was American Horror Story.
Yeah.
And you had just told me you were on the set of American Horror Story.
I was down in New Orleans and got to interview the stars of that show, Kathy Bates, who played a bearded lady.
Right.
She didn't know, and they all sign up to go do this show another year. And then, Brian Murphy tells them, by the way, you're playing a bearded lady. And she was saying how, when she'd go to have soup for lunch, she'd have to take the chin off. She was walking around looking like Elvis, the mustache. So it was fun talking to her, and also from Michael Chiklis from The Shield, obviously. He was the strong man on that show, but hardly anybody survives.
Well, as we stand, the season finale's airing. Will have aired, because this is running Thursday, so will have aired the night before. So technically, there's very few people left. So who knows? What's her name? Jessica Lange is obviously surviving because they showed Scene in the Future where she was a big star.
Right, and we don't know yet whether this is her last season or whether she'll be back.
My prediction is she'll probably come back. Why wouldn't she come back? It's 13 episodes. How long does it take to do? 3 months to do? Then you have the rest of the year to do whatever you want. You're on a hit show that's going to guarantee you an Emmy nomination, probably a win.
That's true.
Why wouldn't you? A big tray check.
That's true.
I would do it.
Plus, you get to be in New Orleans.
You get to be in New Orleans.
And eat at those lovely restaurants and listen to all that great music.
Right. So, but I have to say, an amazing season of American Horror Story. But, it's always interesting when FX comes. I feel that there's a caliber of their programming that just stands above a lot of what we see. There's something about it.
When you look at how many shows they launch and how many stay on the air.
Right.
Like most networks, they probably 80% of their shows get canceled.
Yes.
With Netflix or with FX, it's the other way around. I think maybe only 20% get canceled, right?
Oh, pretty much. Yeah. From what I've seen, when you're a broadcast network, normally 4 out of 5 new shows do not make it into a second season. However, there's already been renewals for both of the CW shows, Jane the Virgin and Arrow.
Right.
Not Arrow, The Flash.
Right.
CBS announced that 3 of its 4 dramas are coming back, so I think the ratio this year is going to be a little better.
Yeah, pretty high.
Which is interesting. But there's something, there's a different caliber when FX comes here, when HBO is here. You just it just feels like a different caliber, doesn't it?
The room gets a little smarter. We stop hearing about shows about wrestling and all these reality shows with, hillbillies and their farm animals, and all of a sudden it's much better fare.
I met, it's interesting, talking about hillbillies, that real show, the Hollywood Hillbillies. I met the Hillbillies, I think it was last year.
Wow.
And they were very pleasant, very nice people. They were on a show. And listen, I don't have a show, so I'm not going to knock them.
You should have a show, though.
Couldn't I have been on American Horror Story Freak Show as one of the characters? Something.
You'd scare me.
Couldn't I?
Yeah.
You know, and here's my, and I mentioned this the other day. I don't think I mentioned it to you, but my one complaint about the show with Kathy Bates, she was the bearded lady. Right. Couldn't she get a razor and shave the beard? She wouldn't have been a freak.
Well, that was her whole shtick. How would she have earned a living? That show, I have to tell you, and I got to meet some of the freaks, the actors who, and there was this one, Ma Petite.
Right.
She's the Guinness Book of World Record as the
You met her?
Yes. She stood on a table.
Yeah, she's 2 feet.
And we interviewed her. She's 2 feet tall, and she's from India. And you had to speak to an interpreter to ask her questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she talked about. I don't want to spoil anything, but she meets a rather grisly end earlier in the season.
She does.
And she talked about that and how hard it was to shoot the scene, or just how the actor who committed this horrible crime kept apologizing. He was so sorry about it. But there's another actress, and I don't remember her name, but she's missing her lower half,
Yes.
And she's whipping by on a skateboard on the set. Yeah. And she's a mother of 2.
Is she?
Yeah, and she delivered these children normally, even though her legs were amputated when she was very young.
Really?
She had no use of her legs. So those actors, I thought, were really the most fascinating part of that show this year.
Oh, I think so. And I think I could have been cast as Amazon Eve's brother or something. I could have been Amazon Mr. TV. I could have been,
Talk to Ryan Murphy. I'm sure he'd be quite amenable to that, right?
Although it's very funny. I'll tell you a quick funny story. As you see, Bill's sitting here in a very nice blue blazer.
Well, it's my uniform. Every clinic has a blue blazer,
right?
Right,
I have a blue blazer. So the other day we were taking pictures. Yeah. We were at the Jane the Virgin set.
Right.
And we were taking pictures, and I went to put my blue blazer on, and I put your blue blazer on. I'm quite a bit taller than you, as I am most people.
You're like a foot taller than me.
Right,
That's
and I put the blazer on, and I wouldn't have noticed it wasn't mine. You didn't tell me.
I'm amazed. So I'm either very, very tall from the waist up, or your legs are very, very long. So.
But anyway, so the tour basically is ending, or it's really over, based on when I'm putting this up. What was your favorite thing of the tour? I think I know what you're asking.
The panel I liked the best was the Mad Men finale.
Was
when
it?
I know what you're going to say, and you're right. This is actually beyond that. I enjoyed the Mad Men finale. The cast was right, but we were granted this incredible gift at Warner Brothers the other day, where we sat in front of it was a Chuck Lorre Productions welcomes you to the Warner studio, and there on this stage in this beautiful theater where they screened an episode of Mom sat 24 cast members from 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, Mom, and
Mike and Molly.
So the every star, they're all there. Jim Parsons and Johnny Galecki, all on stage on these director chairs with all the showrunners. Again, I've never seen a collection of talent on one stage like that down here.
No, and I have to tell you, I mentioned this the other day. To me, the biggest star, and I'm being honest, Jim the dog from Mike and Molly. I got a chance to meet this dog. Now she's really Susie the dog. She's a girl playing a boy. That's versatile.
Right.
This dog, I'm a big dog lover, and I miss my dog.
Right.
Was who I'll be seeing, obviously, Buster, who's been on this video cast. But what a nice dog. Right, Buster's on the video cast. What a nice dog. But I have to say, for me, I mean, that was the highlight. I think the Jane the Virgin session.
Yeah.
I think overall, when you come here in the winter, you don't really normally get a lot of breaking news. It's sort of like kind of low key, but there really is nothing that you can measure the value of this. The value of this is just, it can't be measured. It's amazing. It's incredible. You meet stars, meet producers, you have access, you go to parties, you're fed.
You're fed.
And you look purple by the end of the tour, like we do.
We're on the set of the Big Bang Theory, the actual soundstage, stage 20, I think, or 22 on the Warner's lot. They call it Chuck Lorre's Corner or something, don't they, there? Because he's got all these sound stages, all these shows. And there are all these donuts. Like we need more donuts.
Right.
But they're crusted with breakfast cereals. There's like Fruit Loops donuts, and there's like, it's like trying to poison you and give you 11 different iron and thiamine virtues all at the same time.
Well, I have to say, on that note, it was an amazing tour. We ate a lot.
Yeah, sadly.
We ate a lot, sadly. We'll have to work on that when we get back. Bill, thank you very much.
Always my pleasure, Mark. It's great to see you again, and I always watch these when I'm at home.
Oh,
Turn
great.
on. I've seen your dog on here. He's quite a well-known canine in Canada.
Well, if anyone in Canada is watching and you want to team us up again for another presentation,
Yes.
which we've done, I'm available.
You are? Would you do it for Canadian money?
I will do it for any money.
Wow. Me
I'll
too.
do it for anything.
Me too.
Beggars can't be choosy, which I'm one of them. I'll take whatever anyone wants to give me. But thank you very much, Bill.
My pleasure.
And I mentioned in the last video cast that was the final video cast from the tour. This is the final one. So when you see me next time, I will be back in New York City.
All right, safe trip.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Take care. And we're brought to you by PBS. Take care.